Shining moments from Lenny and Carl.
All right, Simpson. I don't like you. You don't like me. I like you. What? Okay, well, I don't like you. Well,
You
maybe
don't
you'd
like
like me if you got to know me. I love that's one of my favorites. I love that. Whenever someone's mad at me, I always think of that.
This is an arc analysis.
This is arc analysis.
This is arc
Arc analysis.
analysis. Special edition.
Yes. Submission from friend of the show now. You this is the thing, you write in, you become a friend of the show.
Yes, regardless of what we think of what you send us, you're now a friend of the show.
You yeah, we can hate your work. You're still our friend. Kind of goes back to that Simpson meme.
Friend of the show. Yeah, we don't care.
I
You're
like
in
you.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like me.
Retribution Rising by friend of the show Eddie O Shea.
Which is awesome. We love when fans send us stuff. So keep sending us stuff. We will review it.
Yep,
No problem.
yep. This is cool. This is fun. It's the I want to say it's the closest to manga. Is it manga or manga? I always ask that.
Manga.
This or like Blade Bunny was like the closest we've done to manga, right?
Anime. We haven't touched that, even though we're pseudo fans of those genres. We just really haven't really covered it in our show.
Well, it's interesting because I really don't even like anime. I'm one of those guys, but it reads so much better in a book than it does on a cartoon, like
Okay.
an anime cartoon. So I like
Fair.
this. I enjoyed this. This is buried the lead there. But yeah, this is the life of a young man really driving in the fact that he idolizes like his superhero group, this young man Ethan, and the superhero group called D4 that protects his city. And like the Power Rangers, they keep it safe from like random monsters. That's what it did remind me of Power Rangers. How
Power
like
Rangers,
there's always a new monster to beat up.
Monster of the Week. Yep.
Yeah. Until one day Ethan notices some powers of his own, and then that's kind of where you think it's gonna go one way, and it kind of goes a different way. Which is interesting because as I'm reading it, I'm like, I hope they don't like him. Like that's what I was hoping. Like when he gets his own powers, because that's the whole thing. Is Ethan gets his own powers, very kind of like invincible in a way. But he gets his own powers, and I was like, I hope they don't like him. And then it kind of don't want to spoil anything, but it kind of is like that, and it goes a certain way. And I was like, I like this. That's cool.
There's a lot going on, but
Yes.
the best thing about it is the pace of it. The artwork is beautiful. So shout outs to you again for if you're doing this by hand, sir, you are doing God's work. This is an amazing kind of viewpoint, and the action sequences that he does, panel to panel, is really well done. But I flew through this book. Like this is such a smooth read for what's going on that it's something that helps with the genre matter because we're dealing with superheroes. We're dealing with how we get him Ethan as a young boy, and then it kind of flashes to when he's a young man and the life lessons that he learns in that small time. So the fact that there's speed and constantly your page turning was really good. To piggyback off that twist that happens, there's a moment in the book where there's a revelation between Ethan and his family that you get this sub story that I thought was so interesting and so well developed, more so than the main story, that I really wanted the middle chunk more than what we got on the bookends. So I'm wondering if Retribution Rising is you figuring out how you want to tell Ethan's story, or if this is how you're going to keep telling Ethan's story. But there's a lot of layers to what Ethan is going through to become a superhero.
Yeah, because he set it up in a way that you can go backwards or you can go forwards, and they're both interesting. Like you're saying, they set up his childhood, but they don't give too much of the backstory. They just give enough,
Right.
kind of Superman-esque. Like you're an alien from a planet. You've got this power set. You're gonna grow into it like a mutant, and from there we'll see what happens. But not everybody has it. You might have it.
Yeah.
And
does it work for you that a lot of the world is undefined?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of liked it because it wasn't crazy heavy on exposition. Like you can read a lot of books these days where it's like, and sometimes I want that. I don't know. It's interesting. It's all about the world that the creators present to you, because some of them are like, I want to know every little detail. Other ones is I'm kind of happy living it like a Saturday morning cartoon where it's just kind of, it goes back to the Power Rangers thing. I don't need to know everything. I don't need to know what they're doing outside of school. I just know when they're in school, they get together, The monsters come, they fight them, right? And
Right.
this one's kind of the same thing. I know it's a city it's lived in, but I'm more focused on Ethan and D4 and these like where are these monsters coming from? I don't know. Maybe they're just attracted to the city like Batman. We can get to
Right.
that another time. All we're trying to set up right now, or all I'm interested in right now, or most interested in, is how it's all going to work out with all the superheroes and Ethan's power set.
But that's where I really wanted more detail. Like that's where you could have fleshed out. So for me, I wish he gave D4 each individual character just for the reader understanding what their power set is. That way when Ethan comes with his power set, you know that they would be intimidated by how powerful he is because we really don't understand the full extent of Ethan's super suit and
Mm-hmm.
what it does and where he can go with it. So like you leave an open door that you can kind of do anything. But if you told me that this one character only phases and has strong muscles and he can only do this one thing, then immediately you see that there's going to be tension for a new guy, a hotshot coming into the group who can do all these other things, right? There's like a Superman character who you don't really have to tell us that he's the Superman character. You get that by
Yeah,
the way that he's drawn, the way that. But the rest of them, there's like three other in D4 that I'm like, what are your full powers? Like, what do you bring to the table? And those are for me those tiny little details, especially off of reading. We're reading the new Batman, and how they give us a little snapshot to anytime Batman uses a new tool or new something from his
that's yeah,
belt that just gives you a little extra punctuation to what you're reading. You're like, okay, this makes sense in this whole world because I completely understand if the writer and drawer knows in his head that the D4 do all these things, but you got to give me that little bridge as the reader to be like, okay, so he only can phase through matter. He can only really punch hard through things. He can only really do Superman things. That way, when Ethan's character comes, who we're still developing how many different things he can do, because he can do a lot of different things.
yeah.
I can see now there's a stronger tension for what may happen down the line when D4 go against Ethan.
That's fair. That's fair. Actually, that's a good point too. Because I know, like, you're right. There's a Superman character, and there's the character that has like his legs and arms grow,
Hmm.
and he just bashes people, kind of like Miss Marvel does.
That I called him ludicrous because he reminded me of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
it's
Roll
not
out.
stand
Or
up,
no,
get up.
no, stand up.
It's not stand ups midget hanging from my necklace, which is the only thing I keep quoting from that. I gotta which is the wrong lyric to keep quoting, but
Oh, I thought it was the same video. Isn't it? What was he's in the bathroom?
yes, but that's not stand up.
Now we need to find out. But no, you're right because it's like, especially as Ethan, he's such a super fan of these characters. He would know where they are. So you're right. If it had like a little, get back. That's where it's from.
You don't know me
Get
like
back.
that. Get
That
back.
get back.
Get
There you go.
back.
Just it just came to me in the middle of in the middle of a sentence. Yeah, as a super fan, he would know exactly what, and then that would maybe even play into how he interacts with them.
Hmm.
With his superset, I kind of like not knowing because he doesn't know, so we feel like we're
Yes.
kind of on the ride with him.
Catching up. Yes.
Yeah.
But
So it's
again,
like,
you
what can
you
he do? Anything?
you say something interesting. It'd be a great edit if he's such a super fan that he constantly reads and finds out about all
Hmm.
their power sets and how to defeat them and all these little things that a normal kid wouldn't do, but because he loves them so much,
Yeah.
he learned all these things and that somehow manifested into his suit, which is stronger than all of D4 combined. There's these just little turns of the dial that you can make as the writer and the editor that make your central character so much stronger because he's done all this work as a kid now
Mhm.
to a teenager, right? So reading that, I was just like, this is good, but this could be great if you did this and this and
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. And it does work that like he's so powerful too because his inexperience and like his maturity as a child, as like a kid, it kind of balances it out, right? It's almost like
Hmm.
he's so powerful, but he's not really seasoned yet. As he gets older and stronger and smarter, it might be a little less interesting. But as a kid who just like has the power of like whatever in his hands, I was gonna say God, but it's not quite that, but it's just like that's kind of fun because it's like what's gonna happen? I don't know what to do with all this. I'm just gonna start breaking things like a bull in the china shop type
Yeah.
thing.
And you get all that teenage angst too, right? Because he's coming out of
Yes.
school and like he doesn't know left from right. Like he's really actually the Power Rangers prototypical type of like you're just a dude with an attitude, and you've been thrusted at all these powers, right? You get all this information from your family of like you could be special, and it turns out you are special. And then dealing with the high school element on top of that is a really great dynamic to move forward with as a superhero or emerging superhero in a world of monsters and other superheroes.
And they left it as a jump the shark, but they left it wide open for a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Wide open. So that's I think where they're going to go is further ahead. But like we were saying too at the beginning, they could go back because his origin was interesting too.
Yes, very much so.
So there's a lot of places we can go here. If we do go forward though, yeah, you got to flesh out a little more because we want to know more. You got to build text because sequels are always that, right? Like you get the original idea, it's great, it's awesome. So now how can you improve on that, right? In the sequel,
And
take a
by
different way, give it a bit more texture.
the third issue or the third act, we get a whole subset of new characters that Ethan has to deal with, right?
Yep.
So also, this book is 193 pages. It's not a long read, but it would do you justice to separate these into 3 issues just to break it for the reader because you get Ethan's life in kind of 3 versions. You get him as a boy growing into kind of a young adult. Then you get kind of the middle chunk, which I really enjoyed about the backstory and how his family really relates to the power set. And then you
Yep.
get the third act of what happens when he becomes a superhero and what that means. So if you want to break it for the reader, just so you know, like, hey, this is a different uh, time frame that we're moving in through Ethan, I think that helps your book read better, knowing that you can break down in thirds. I would say.
Yeah, like an axe almost, right? Did you see that? I don't want to say what happens in the ending, but did you see that ending coming?
No, but my hottest take is
Wow.
something that we can't spoil. I wish who ended up doing what they did, the other guys did it first, and then Ethan has
Yeah.
to come clean up the mess of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely understand. It's like this new
Yeah.
entity comes in, and it's
And it's
yeah.
so interesting because where you're coming from, you understand where their pull is. If they were the ones to do the big damage, and then Ethan has to be like, man, okay, I have to rise to the occasion. That changes the tone of your book. Where you have it now, everybody sucks except for Ethan, and then Ethan kind of sucks because he
Yeah,
does
he
some
was gonna
shit
say
too.
that he kind of sucks. He kind of screwed up.
A little bit, like, but it was unintentional, and then he was kind of
Yes.
put in a corner, and then he just, you have to show up when you put in
You
a
gotta
corner,
do what you
right?
gotta do.
Right. That can be played up better if you're doing it against the bigger bad as opposed to the sub bads who we now, you know, we can't
Who are
spoil this. It's a
yeah.
very interesting read, but I don't think it's perfect yet. I think it could go for an edit and a couple twists. You
Mhm.
definitely have something going here. So I really hope you go back to the not necessarily the drawing board because the art is ridiculous. Again,
Yeah.
we were saying off mic of just we couldn't believe that it was just one man doing the art and the writing. But the dynamicism and the action sequences and the amount of line work that he puts into a boom and a fist and a punch and a kick and a slash
Passion.
is visually gorgeous. And this is all black and white. Like there's no colorist on this too. So imagine if you decide to hire out a colorist, the pop that you'll get from all the work that you've painstakingly done. It's such a fun looking book.
See, it's fun to look at. It's just fun. Like it's a good pace if you pick it up. Just
Yes.
like because it is good. Like the story is fun too. The book is good. I like that it went in a direction that I didn't see coming, and it ended in a way that I didn't see coming. Even though at the beginning I thought I was like, okay, I know where this is all going. I can figure this out, and then
Right.
I was wrong, and I love that.
I saw Ethan becoming a superhero, but I didn't see how
Yes.
he was going to become a superhero. Like
Yeah.
that middle chapter that gives all this lore about like where they're from and how his family fits and everything, I thought was so rich in texture, and that seemed like the most developed of all the storylines going on. But it's kind of a story of 3 different storylines, so be wary of that as a writer. Like it's hard sometimes to pull everything together, and sometimes you don't need to. So you
Mhm.
could just have a book that's just talking about Ethan wanting to be a superhero. You can have a book about Ethan becoming a superhero, and then you can have a book about why Ethan became a superhero, which was all this backstory stuff. And all of those would sell individually as opposed to squeezing it all together in one issue to be like, oh, it's a kitchen sink. Like I got to get it all out.
We rate these on a good or bad basis. Boom for good, ba for bad, whoosh for what did I just read? It's a boom for me.
Yeah, this is a boom.
It's a boom as a book because it was fun to read and it's also a boom for, like, I'm not giving it 2 booms. I'm just saying why. I
Single boom.
expected. It was surprising. Still, it
Yeah.
surprised me in a good way. I was like, this went in a way that I was hoping it would go, and didn't think it, and then it ended in a way I didn't think it would end. So yeah, boom for me.
It's a boom for me. A very interesting read. Very flowing read. Like I never had to stop and nothing really pulled me out of
Smooth.
it. You're so close to having something that's, in my opinion, immaculate, and it's just very light changes that you have to do with like character development and who's really pulling the strings at what time. But that's a personal choice, not necessarily what you need to do as the creator of it. And then if you break it down into 3 acts, just so the reader has a chance to breathe between the different looks that you get of Ethan, because you get him in kind of 3 stages of his life, I think that'd be amazing choice to do moving forward. But there's an easy recommendation for anyone looking to see what you can do if you trust that you have an idea and you want to follow it from beginning to end, because this looks like somebody that had an idea and took it all the way to the end. So
It's,
congratulations to you on that.
it's a passion project through and through.
Yes.
You can tell too. It's very fun read.